Impumelelo, with its awards program, distinguishes between praiseworthy and prizeworthy. So we have those who have won Impumelelo awards that have gone on to win a UN or a Dubai award, but we also have the praiseworthy projects that create enormous social capital in the country and have developed pockets of excellence everywhere. I argue if government creates governance, good governance, local governance around the hubs that already exist, then we don't have to reinvent the wheel. In fact, government can save huge amounts of money just by learning from the customer debt relief program in eThekwini municipality. Here is a project that does not only write off water debt, but they also get people to pay their debt in order to have write-offs. They also teach them responsible water usage. They teach them how to save water. And they appoint community customer service agents to go around to the clinics, the taxi ranks, to educate people about being responsible citizens. Unfortunately, what our politicians do is to create a culture of entitlement. What some municipalities get right is to teach people citizen obligation, citizens' duties towards civil society. And that's what we award when we evaluate projects. How do they create social capital? How do they create better citizens who work in partnership with government to transform society? We don't just give awards. We now have communities of best practice that consider themselves part of the Impumelelo network, and whenever we bring the food security people together, the job creation people together, the HIV/AIDS people together, the cross-pollination that takes place there is quite phenomenal. And I am amazed to hear 12 years later how a rural HIV/AIDS project has learned from an urban HIV/AIDS project. How food security in the informal settlements can be replicated with food security projects in rural Limpopo. And that is what keeps us energized about Impumelelo and its awards program. And that's what makes it different. That's what makes it exciting. And that is why we all love working at Impumelelo, because it is the good news story of South Africa. It is what makes South Africa tick. And it's also what people do in spite of government. And what we've learned is that people don't want handouts, but they like a hand up. And government must give that hand up. And that's the story of Impumelelo. Every year, Impumelelo invites prominent South Africans to be part of the Impumelelo adjudications panel. We get a good balance of race and gender and expertise. So we have people like Johnny Copland, the head of HCI, for example. We have Hilton Applebaum from Liberty Life. We had Marion Tam, a freelance journalist. We had Hilary Morris, who is the former director of Black Sash. We have Christina Teichmann, the director of the Konrad Adenauer Foundation. We added a few new ones this year. Kalim Rajab, who was a former employee of Nikki Oppenheimer's, of the Oppenheimer Foundation, who now works for an insurance company, who has a personal interest in the social development of the country. We had Simpiwe Dwenga, who is the head of Eastern Cape Innovate, Sibonile Khoza, who is a policy analyst for the government in the Western Cape, and he was a former lawyer who worked for the Community Law Centre at the University of the Western Cape. We had Impumelelo, who was also a board member of Impumelelo and a prominent consultant in South Africa. So it's a range of people. We select these people carefully, and all of them have a social development interest. And I find every year that they come to the party, they do a good job, they are rigorous in their questioning of people. And of course, we use academics as well. These adjudication files consist of the original application, the evaluation, and a score sheet. The judges are required to study these projects and to score them. And after the projects present their cases to them over 2 days, they have to rescore. After 2 days, the judges will meet over dinner and select the winners. And this is not an easy process because everybody has their favorites, and it's very hard to separate the personality from the content of a project. And my job as the chair of the adjudications panel is to control that. So the exciting thing about the adjudications process is where we put the faces to the projects. Impumelelo tries as much as possible not to interfere with the evaluations process. It must be seen to be independent. So there is a distinct separation between the evaluators who go on site, who obviously become subjectively involved in the process, and the final adjudications panel, which is objective. And the only contact they have had with the project is to study them from the files, and when they meet them around a table.
We at Siyabonga is celebrating Women's Day because if you look in today's world, how many women get abused and killed and raped. So the reason why we're celebrating it is because to pay tribute to what the woman is going through, and for them actually coming forward and seeking help and assistance for what they are going through.
It's a truly great honor to be nominated because we have been sort of watching Impumelelo and learning lessons from the other projects that they've worked with before. So it's a great honor to be nominated and to sort of be seen as a project that other people can learn from. And if we did have to win the award, it would just be fantastic to get the funding to be able to take our model and really share it with other people so that hopefully other children's lives can be transformed in the way that these children's have. Impumelelo is great because I think it helps create models and also give the ability for other people to learn from other organizations' mistakes so that people don't carry on recreating the wheel. I think it's very beneficial for us to work together and to learn from each other, and really we're all striving for the same goal, and so they are giving us the tools and the potential or the possibility to actually work together and really learn from each other.
The Impumelelo Awards is a very prestigious award. It recognizes organizations and people's work in areas that isn't normally. So for us, it's a really big thing. And having been in this field and promoting this work and advocating this work for 20 years, it really is a big thing. It's a milestone. And it puts the work that we do on the map, but it also highlights the work that needs to be done.
You know, working out in the field and on the ground, I don't think there's certainly not enough recognition for the people that actually commit their lives to doing this kind of work. And I think in terms of the Impumelelo Awards, it's a recognition of all these individuals that have so little recognition for, in fact, what they are doing. It's also exposure for the bigger outside world to hear about what is happening within communities, and that they really aren't privy to from a day-to-day basis.
So that's just a snapshot of the kinds of projects that we get, and every year it's a surprise. Every year they're different, every year they're new, and of course every year it is very inspiring to meet the people who find the solutions. The big challenge to Impumelelo, while it raises sponsorships and support money for these projects, we give monetary awards, is to find operational funding for Impumelelo. Impumelelo is an empowering organization. It's a giving organization. But because we're a multi-issue organization, it's very difficult to get funding for what it is that we do. And people often see us as a grant maker. We're not a grant maker, we're an awards program that recognizes excellence. We recognize best practice, we recognize innovation. But the UNDP has declared Impumelelo as an NGO of best practice, as a model of excellence. And so I appeal to people who feel that we do good work, that you also support Impumelelo.